He was my favorite econ professor at Cal Poly Pomona and a favorite of many people there. A very, very memorable experience being his student, and thank you very much for coming, Dr. Galbraith. Finally, Dean Ronald Phillips, who is the Dean Emeritus at Pepperdine University School of Law, who, when I went to Pepperdine, trust me, I knew nothing about what law school was all about, nothing whatsoever. I was there for a year before I knew what law review was, what it meant. Thankfully, I never was close to making it, so it didn't matter. And so, Dean Phillips, thank you very much for staying part of our life and being so good to us and being so patient with me and allowing me to graduate from Pepperdine. Next, I'm blessed because I mentioned my brother Ben. It was hard being his younger brother because you could never live up to Ben. He never did anything wrong. And so I made up for it a little bit, but then I met Jeanette when I was 17, when Jeanette and I will be married 35 years this coming June 9th. She, I'll talk longer than Herb Half talks if I had to describe everything that she does for me. And I say that with all love and affection, Herb. My children, John and Andrea, John's wife, Rosemary, the twins, Ben and Michaela, my daughter, Andrea, and her husband, Mikkel, and their son, Shanti. You are my entire life, and thank you for being here. Bill Chernoff has done more for my life, not only my professional life, than any other person I've ever met. People accuse lawyers of being, what's the word, full of BS, right? Bill Chernoff, even though his initials are BS, does not know how to BS, okay? He is devoid of BS. And I know that from Bill has taught me whatever I am as a lawyer, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Bill, whatever I am as a lawyer, I owe it all to you. Period. End of report. The other lawyers and friends in the room who have been kind enough to come and show their support, and you know who you are, you know what you mean to me. I can't name you all, but you will know that I will never forget your being here for myself and my family tonight. I want to close by telling you that, and I wish I could, I'm so frustrated not being able to tell you how I see the problem in this country generally, and California particularly, with health care. We have a situation where we have insurance companies practicing medicine. They'll tell you when you go to court with them, we don't practice medicine, we contract with doctors. We are arrangers of services. We are facilitators. And as a friend of mine says, they're basically envelope stuffers who peel 20 to 25% off the top and then leave the patients and the doctors hanging and the victims. Every day of my life and every day of our life in the office, not only me, but the people, our employees in the office, the dedicated people, every day struggle with this problem. Trust me, for every time we succeed or for every Berman or Goodrich case, we have a failure, 10 failures for every success. And that's the frustrating part of it. And so tonight, this award, I would like to particularly dedicate to two people. The memory of David Goodrich, whose wife, widow Teresa, please stand, Teresa, is here tonight. Trust me, you don't have to be a tremendous trial lawyer to win a case for Teresa Goodrich. Just show up and kind of keep it between the 40-yard lines and everything's going to go fine. Her husband, David, was a friend of mine, and he was a student of Dean Phillips at Pepperdine as well. He was a couple years behind me. And David's life was shortened dramatically by the conduct of an insurance company. His doctors were trying to do the right thing. His doctors were trying to get him the care he needed. And it was an insurance company denying what a doctor was recommending. When you stop and think about that, how terrible is that? And so, along with David, I want to dedicate this award tonight to Judge David Mintz. David Mintz was buried this past Tuesday. David Mintz came to my office a year ago. He was a lung cancer patient, and his Blue Cross plan which he had as a judge, as a public employee, had denied him the recommended treatment. And of course, we filed a lawsuit, ignoring the arbitration clause, step one, because we figured let them petition to compel arbitration. And interestingly, because he was a public employee, the money for the care was really part of the public employee retirement system. And Sheila, I'm speaking to you now about this. Blue Cross took the position that because they were not financially at risk on this, and they were only a third-party administrator of the plan, that they weren't an insurance company, and that the tort of bad faith, which Bill Chernoff pioneered along with Herb Half and Egan versus Mutual of Omaha, which was their case, that this tort did not apply in this case. And a judge who I think maybe didn't have a full night's sleep the night before bought that argument. And so we had filed a briefing for an expedited appeal because of his health. Dave Mintz died while that case was on appeal. I'm going to see that case through. And if there's a God in heaven and in the memory of my parents, we're going to change that, because that's got to change. So in the memory of both of those Davids versus Goliath, I thank you very, very much for this very important award. It means a lot to me. Thank you.